Hi. It's your girl, Ashley, aka The Widow, and with me is, who are you?
Yo, what's up? My name's Raya, and yeah, I am stoked to be here with my good friend Ashley.
Yes, and we just recently got to see the first episode of Moon Knight. Moon Knight premiered March 31st on Disney Plus. It stars Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector, and also stars Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow. So that's exciting, right? So we finally got this new Marvel show, and we're going to show you the top 5 moments that we consider the top 5 moments of the episode, and then and tell you our thoughts and our feelings and why we rank them where we do. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to show you our number 5 moment. You guys ready? And let us know, do you agree? Is there something missing? Let us know in the comment section down below. So right here, number 5 moment is when Stephen Grant wakes up, in the field, in the village, right? So let's look at it right now.
Oh, that was weird. What happened?
Go back to sleep, worm.
Hello?
You're not supposed to be here.
So that is our number 5 moment. Ray, what did you think about when Stephen Grant, when he wakes up and he notices his jaw is, sore and in the wave in the window? What did you think about all that scene there?
So when I first watched it, I think this was part of the first half of the episode where I was still a little confused, not 100% sure how we were going to be introduced to the split personality aspect of this character. So seeing the crooked jaw, and him trying to adjust it and things like that, not really remembering how that happened or how he ended up in that location. I was like, okay, we're gonna, see some hints as far as people responding to events that transpired while he was his other personality. So I was starting to, put 2 and 2 together as far as the clues the show was leading me towards.
So I thought that it, after a while for me, I'll talk about that later, but in this moment when we were introduced to the voice of Khonshu, I actually didn't mind it here because I thought that it kind of fit with him being confused and anxious in this comical way, where here he was trying to figure out why he's in this field, and then he waves and then they start shooting, and so I thought that to me that the humor there worked. What did you think about the humor?
Yeah, I thought that some of the humor was a little groan-worthy, to be totally honest. I think that Stephen Grant's character was overly communicated as this cringy, awkward, dude. And some of the jokes and UK mannerisms and turns of and phrases were a little hammy, if not okay, yeah, we get it, he's in the UK, you don't have to say blind, you don't say I don't think he said blimey, but I think a lot of the words that he used were stereotypically a lot of people in the States would know that
I had issues with some of it in later parts of the episode, but the whole bit with the field, I like that. The stuff in the village, I didn't like some of that. So let's go ahead and look at our number 4 moment, and we'll give you our thoughts and opinions and why it comes in at number 4.
I'll have a steak, please.
Sure. And how'd you like that?
Good, yeah, very good, very good. Yeah. Delicious.
So there's the moment. Actually, it's not just about him ordering the steak or the fact that he didn't get to go on his date. It was the fact that he lost. He realized that he just, in that moment, that he lost 2 days of time. What did you think about the scene in the restaurant, Raya?
Yeah, I'm still a little confused because I'm fresh to this IP. So I was wondering, is he losing control over which personality is, maintaining power over the physical being that, both personalities live in, or multiple personalities live in. So him agreeing to eat steak, although he's a vegan, was a little confusing at first. So I thought there was some challenge of power over the physical self there. So that's what I was kind of interpreting in that moment.
Absolutely. So go ahead and let's look at our number 3 moment and get our thoughts here. Here we are.
The concept of Project Dad.
Okay, we got a $2 super chat from Bodan and the Lonely Wolf. It says Morbius over Moon Knight. You have to read this. LOL. I mean, I can't agree. Really, 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 really. Really. So, what do we think of that scene there? Like, that's when he like starts. He after he finds the phone and has the conversation on the phone, right? And then he like sees himself in the mirror. We can tell that that's Mark Spector talking to him, and we don't actually, it's kind of like in the shadows, so we don't see, his lips moving and then everything around him falling. What do you think about that moment? Do you feel like, I wonder like if some of these things are in his head. They're not happening, like the books aren't following. He's not this is all created, by him. It's a fiction of his imagination essentially. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even like fathom that as a possibility, but now I'm going to keep that in mind when I watch the episode later, or episode 2 later. Yeah, like this being just like either like memories or uh, uh, what is the word? Unreliable narration on the
Yes,
part
yes.
of Stephen Grant or Mark Spector. Like that is really fascinating to me. So that's a good thing that you just told me to like keep an eye out for.
I mean, I just, because like I always said, I remember reading an article where Ethan Hawke, and he says he's quoted to say, Stephen Grant, like, I mean, Mark Spector, you don't, all these things, you don't know if they're actually happening because he's an unreliable narrator. And we see that here in the stuff with the character, because you question in some of the runs, does he have these powers or is this all in his head and things like that. So it's interesting, right? I really like
Yes.
that scene. And then like, Khonshu coming down the hall, outside the elevator, and
Oh, it
then the
looks
old
so cool.
lady in the
Yeah.
elevator, and then he gets on the elevator at floor 5, he goes to 3, and he goes back to 5, right? So,
Yes.
and then she's like frightened because she's, seeing him freak out and she has no clue what's happening. So
Yes.
I like that scene, and I thought it was really cool, and it really did give me like a kind of a horror vibe, kind of a little bit, in
Yes,
that with
I
that
really
scene.
like that too. Mhm.
All right, so let's look at our number 2 scene right now.
Truck!
So there it is, the van, the chase scene. Raya, what did you like about this scene here?
Okay, so I didn't think too much about like the cupcake truck until I saw a marketing poster for it, and I'm just like, great, now another thing with like a second meaning that I have to like rack my brain to like try and figure out. So this is another one of those symbols that I think after multiple viewings it might start to like sink in, if not like later episodes where we get hints as far as like what that meant in that moment. So that's what I think is like this is a symbol. I just don't know what it symbolizes yet.
Yes. And I really liked the episode. I mean, this part of the episode, really, I liked the chase sequence. I've talked about how I felt about all the flashes going forward, that I don't want that to become like an easy escape, to skip some of these more like gritty moments, with, killing people and blood,
Mhm.
in the show. But I liked it, especially he wakes up and he's like, I got this gun, and he doesn't know what's happening and everything is moving so fast. He flashes, the guy is dead in the back. So there's so many things that's happening in this moment. It's such a frantic scene. And it's like, it also does a good job because that's what Steven is feeling in that moment. He's so frantic because he doesn't understand what's happening, how he got there. One minute this is happening, then he turns around and there's a dead body in the back. So for me, this was one of my favorite scenes in the episode, outside of the number one moment. And I'm pretty sure you think they're going to guess what our number one moment is.
No, let's jump into it.
All right, so our number one moment is right here. Number one, and it was everything that built up, to the scene, right?
Yes.
I really liked the, him in the mirror, seeing, multiple versions of himself, them having that back and forth, him fighting with himself. So I did like that. And then him, relinquishing control. And then when you look in the mirrors, that's not happening in the mirrors. There's no transformation in the mirror. So again, that makes you think, are these things really happening? Right? In it to him, like, or is this all a figment of his imagination? What did you really like about this scene, Raya?
Oh, the sweeping orchestral like music playing in the background, it really just put me back in that mindset of like this like super high fantasy action moment. When I watched trailers for this show, I got like really big like swashbuckling vibes, like Prince of Persia, The Mummy, Assassin's Creed, all these like big IPs that are like video games and movies and stuff like that from past. And this is definitely taking inspiration from it, like from a cinematic and like musical standpoint, but it's definitely unique in its own right. So I like that it feels familiar, but it's something I've never seen before. So yeah.
Yes, and what did you think of the reveal finally? I mean, I know we saw it in the trailers, but to see it within the show here, right? What did you think of that when you saw the suit?
I really really like the suit. I think that in some instances when it's a little close in frame, it does come off as like overly CGI. Maybe sometimes the shadows aren't necessarily as like dark or as like matching the surroundings as I would think that they would. Maybe the white is like shining way more than I would expect it to in the dark. But yeah, other than that, I hope that it starts to blend a little bit more with the surroundings. I don't know if that's like the intention for the white to be like so blistering, like, bright against
Yeah,
all the darkness. Maybe that is the
it
intention.
is.
Yeah, so sometimes like it is jarring how it doesn't always like have the matching shadows, but yeah, I'm willing to, kind of put that to rest to just, flow with the story. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Belle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. So we were just talking about the last that because we just ranked the top 5 moments and the number one moment of Moon Knight, because you got a chance to see episode 1, correct?
Yes.
And you really and how did you think? What did you think?
I like it.
And what did you think about the reveal at the end?
The fact that he's not who he thinks he is.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
yeah,
talking
and
about?
that, well, the suit and him talking to himself, yeah, and all of that in the mirrors, like all, and then the reveal of the suit.
I like it. It's different from what they usually do. What do you call it? I like the whole mental aspect of it, to be honest. That's why I'm like really into it. Because the whole fact that he's I believe he's schizophrenic. I think that's what
He
he
is
is.
a dissociative identity disorder, so he's like several different personalities are
Yeah.
coexisting,
Okay.
within.
Yeah,
But
I like
yes,
that.
so that we're gonna get into more discussion for it right now, but that was our top 5 moments. So this is where the video ends. I'm going to play the outro right now. So to see the full conversation, please check out the full video on ssjk.sanctum's channel. And again, I'm your girl Ashley. Bye.